Counsel.
My Lords, it's a great pleasure to follow the Noble Lord, Lord Krebs, and as always, his contribution, I think, has made a very useful addition to this debate and put down a very useful specific question. I rise to speak in favour of the ideas, the aims behind the Noble Lord, Lord Lucas's amendment, although I come at this from a somewhat different direction because the Noble Lord was suggesting this is the way the government or the OEP could lead the public. I'd suggest that we look at this from the other way around in terms of, on many environmental issues, whether you look at the climate strikers, whether you look at the climate assembly, the People's Assembly on the climate last year, the public has actually been leading companies, pushing companies to act, and the public has been pushing the government to act. Now, it's very helpful to the public to have that data available to it, the information, the published material available, but rather than thinking about this as something whereby we lead the public, let's think about this as in the other way terms as perhaps more of a partnership, is the way that I focus on it. And I also think this amendment really takes us to some of our debates in the Agriculture Bill, where we were talking about the lack of agricultural extension, the lack of independent advice to farmers. And indeed, I was talking to a group of farmers last week, and they were bemoaning the lack of independent advice available to farmers, and a great deal of the information that might be collected and put together by the Office of the Environmental Protection might also be of great use to farmers. And I think here of the words of the Noble Lord, Lord Curry in the last amendment talking about regulatory capture. We do want to have this available so that we can see this. And as the Noble Lord, Lord Lucas said, a lot of research is behind paywalls. We're lucky enough in your Lordship's house to have the wonderful library. We can ask them to get anything they want for us. That's not something that's available to the public, and it's a great pity that far too much publicly funded research is still hidden behind paywalls. And the research that is guiding the OEP should be publicly available. And I do just finally want to comment on the Noble Lord, Lord Lucas's questions about oat milk. And I would remind him that, of course, the practical reality of our economy is a great many externalised costs are not paid by the producers or the sellers of a product, and therefore are not reflected on the price tag. We, of course, have a great many farmers who are barely being paid or not being paid the production costs of their milk, reflecting the power of the economic power of the supermarkets. And I would point out that you can, of course, make your own oat milk, which would cut out the middle person, save you a great deal of money, and cut out a great deal of packaging as well.